Boy, do we have a story for you folks. Hello and welcome to Not Fake News. Don't forget to share, subscribe, smash that like button like Hillary does computers and laptops and Blackberries. A woman shouldn't be punished because she wants an abortion. Her baby should. That's her frickin' argument. We have a bunch of breaking stories, folks, so let's do this. When I say a bunch, I mean, oh man, I can't even count that high. Breaking. Deputy A.G. Rosenstein issues statement Washington Post should be worried. We're also going to go over, Obama's NSA should be worried. And Trump calls out the collusion case. And ISIS leader killed. This is like the third time I reported that, with different people killing him. But Russia says that they killed him. And then we have Russia probe could expose Obama official. Hope so. Department of Justice makes a proclamation on the anonymous sources, in quotations. Look what the President Trump just tweeted about the Russian investigation. And finally, CNN exposed peddling blatant partisan lie. Just doesn't seem like it's ever going to end. Let's start from the beginning here. Deputy A.G. Rosenstein issues statement Washington Post should be worried. Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein today issued a following statement. Americans should exercise caution before accepting as true any stories attributed to anonymous officials, particularly when they do not identify the country, let alone the branch or agency of government with which the alleged sources supposedly were affiliated. Americans should be skeptical about anonymous allegations. The Department of Justice has long established policy to neither confirm nor deny such allegations. Yeah, the American public should be skeptical, but everyone on the left should also be skeptical and realize we don't need a special prosecutor and like Mueller for a non-case like the Russian collusion story. This is bull. Deputy AG issues statement, anonymous allegations. Americans should be skeptical. All right. Obama's NSA should be worried. Senator wants to know who was responsible for giving security clearance to Reality Winner. Winner is a very anti-Trump contractor for the NSA, leaked classified information regarding Russians and the United States. And let's not forget, she was placed in the White House in February 2017, so she was inserted, okay? Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee Chairman Ron Johnson and Ranking Member Claire McCaskill sent a letter to the Office of the Personal Management Thursday questioning security clearance process for Reality Winner. I asked the question the first day. Who sent her in? Who wanted her to do this, you know? The National Security Agency contractor accused of allegedly leaking classified information about attempted Russian hacking of the 2016 presidential election. Johnson, a Republican from Wisconsin, and McCaskill, Democrat from Montana, wrote Kathleen McGettin, the acting director in the Office of Personal Management, that they were looking for the answers to the process under which the federal government issues, monitors, and investigates those with security clearances. Ms. Winters allegedly chose to put Americans and our national security at risk when she leaked classified materials, Johnson said. It is my hope that the OPM will do a thorough review of her security clearance and determine if it was granted appropriately. Trump calls out collusion case. After 7 months of investigations and committee hearings and about my, quotes, collusions with the Russians, nobody has been able to show any proof. Sad. Next, ISIS leader killed. ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was reportedly killed in an airstrike that took place last month. Russia is claiming to have killed him. Russia claims it killed ISIS leader Abu al-Baghdadi, sources of other militant leaders. ISIS leader Baghdadi was reportedly killed during a Russian airstrike last month in Raqqa that also claimed the lives of several other high-ranking ISIS leaders, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. According to the information, which is being checked through various channels, ISIS leader Baghdadi, who was also present at the meeting and was killed as a result of the strike, the ministry said in a statement. Russian Defense Ministry reports about the elimination of the numbers of leaders of ISIS in Syria by aerospace forces. Russian aircraft carried out airstrikes near the now former ISIS capital of Raqqa in northern Syria on May 28. The ministry said the strikes targeted a meeting of high-ranking Islamic State chiefs where Baghdadi was said to be present. Reuters and Russia Today reported the ISIS leader had gathered to discuss routes for the exit of the militants in Raqqa through the so-called Southern Corridor. Baghdadi could be among about 30 Islamic State commanders killed by the attack. The ministry added, though it provided no explanation for the delay in reporting the strike, it is said also killed about 300 Islamic State fighters. Bloomberg added, the U.S.-led coalition has not confirmed the Russian report. We cannot confirm these reports at this time, said Colonel Ryan Dillon, a military spokesman for the United States, in a statement. Others raised doubts about the likelihood of Baghdadi dying in the strikes. Rami Abdurrahman, director of the Syrian Observatory for Human Rights, said that according to his information, Baghdadi was located in another part of Syria at the end of May. The information is that as of the end of last month, Baghdadi was in Deir al-Zor, in the area between Deir al-Zor and Iraq, in Syrian territory, he said by phone. Questioning what Baghdadi would have been doing in that location, he said, it is reasonable that Baghdadi would put himself between a rock and a hard place of the coalition in Russia. Considered the leader of ISIS, Baghdadi, born Ibrahim al-Sarami, is a 46-year-old Iraqi who broke away from al-Qaeda in 2013 since the U.S.-led coalition became involved in the battle against ISIS back in 2014. Al-Baghdadi's death was been reported a handful of times, like I said before, but never confirmed. The ISIS leader is reclusive. The last public video footage of Baghdadi shows him dressed in black, Syrian robes, declaring his caliphate from the pulpit of Mosul's medieval Grand al-Nur Mosque back in 2014, according to Reuters. Well, I'll believe it when I see it, for sure. Russia probe could expose Obama official. A recent analysis has shown that former Attorney General Loretta Lynch could be facing charges as a result of information learned from the Russian probe. In the course of the investigation into alleged Russian interference in 2016 presidential election, serious questions have been raised about the possibility that former Attorney General Loretta Lynch may have engaged in wrongdoing with regard to the FBI's criminal investigation into Hillary Clinton's emails. There are three main issues surrounding Lynch's possible misdeeds in the Clinton email probe. One is Lynch's infamous tarmac meeting last June at the Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, in which former President Bill Clinton, the husband of the FBI's main subject in a criminal probe, Hillary's email case, boarded the Attorney General's plane and reportedly stayed there for about 30 minutes for a private chat. The second concern is Lynch's reported directive from then FBI Director James Comey to publicly refer to the FBI's criminal investigation into Hillary's email as just a matter instead of an investigation or a criminal probe. The language matched the specific rhetoric used at the time by Clinton's 2016 presidential campaign, which referred to the criminal investigation as a matter. So that lines up. The third issue relates to the testimony and questions surrounding reports claiming that Comey was in a position of a document reportedly indicating that Lynch would ensure the Clinton email probe didn't go too far. Wow, that's the big one. And so Comey was in possession of a document, a memo, a document, whatever, a document's even better, purportedly indicating that Lynch would ensure the Clinton email probe didn't go too far. Don't you worry, Mrs. Clinton. It's not going to go too far. The largely unreported by the news media, these questions surrounding Lynch are so serious that in his testimony before the Senate Intelligence Committee this month, Comey conceded that the appointment of the special House counsel in the Clinton email case would have been appropriate. Hold on. Comey conceded that the appointment of a special counsel in the Clinton email case would have been inappropriate. It would have been appropriate to get a special counsel for her too, due to his concerns about Lynch, referring to Lynch's directive for Comey to call for the criminal email probe a matter, as well as a private tarmac meeting with Bill Clinton. Senate Majority Whip Cornyn asked the FBI chief the following pointed questions. So he said, do you think that, after this, and this, do you think that Hillary's investigation should have had a special counsel? And he said, yeah, should have. We have 3 more stories to go into right now, but I just want to jump in and say, if you're live, please comment, let us know what you think. If you're not live, comment and let us know what you think. But if you are live, you could do Super Chat and get your comment put to the top, and we'll also say it, and we'll discuss it, and we'll do a thing. So if you're watching live, Super Chat is available, and that's a new exciting thing you can use. And also, it helps support the channel, which we really need. Next, Department of Justice makes proclamation on anonymous sources. Department of Justice has warned Americans not to trust stories based on anonymous sources. Yeah. In a move that stunned many members of the media, on Thursday night, Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who has overseen the Russian probe due to Jeff Sessions' recusal, and who earlier this week confirmed he is only authority to fire Special Counsel Robert Mueller, released an unorthodox statement to be skeptical about the anonymous allegations following the relentless barrage of news reports emerging from the Washington Compost and the New York Slimes about the evolving probe into Russian election interference and possible collusion with Trump, all based on fake, or let me not say fake because we don't know yet, but anonymous sources. Ooh. Anonymous. Americans should exercise caution before accepting as true any stories attributed to anonymous officials, particularly when they do not identify the country, let alone the branch or agency of government, with which the alleged sources supposedly are affiliated with. Americans should be skeptical about anonymous allegations. The Department of Justice has a long-established policy to neither confirm nor deny such allegations. Rosenstein, who may have seen Trump foil at the DOJ, did not cite specific reports. The DOJ released Rosenstein's statement after 9 p.m., shortly after the Washington Compost reported that the special counsel was investigating the business dealings of Jared Kushner, Mr. Trump's son-in-law and advisor. That report was attributed to the unnamed American officials. As we said, the media and the punditry was stunned by the official statement. The New York Times' Maggie Haberman said, "Have literally never seen a statement like this." That's right, because you are out of control, NYT. The new leader of the Trump resistance, Preet Bharara, also chimed in, tweeting, "Americans should also caution before accepting as true lies about firing." I'm sorry, I screw up. Preet has also chimed in, tweeting, "Americans should also exercise caution before accepting as true lies about firing of FBI director and defamation of a war hero special counsel." That's what they just said. To be expected, Rosenstein, who the media was ambivalent about in following his recent testimony in which he said there were no grounds to fire Mueller, praised, promptly became the latest pariah for insinuating that the media's Trump reportage may be, in fact, fake news. As the New York Times reported this morning, the statement aligned with the president's open frustration with unflattering leaks. Mr. Trump has called stories about the investigation fake news and complained on Twitter about Washington Post report on Wednesday night that the special counsel Robert S. Mueller III was investigating the president himself for possible obstruction of justice. That story was also attributed to unnamed sources, as was a New York Times article in the same evening about Mr. Mueller's request for interviews with 3 top intelligence officials. What to make of Rosenstein's statement? On one hand, it would be seen as a validation of Trump's repeated allegations that much of what has emerged in the press in recent weeks is fake news. On the other hand, as some in the media suggest, it could be an attempt to chill communications and leaks to the press. Yet others saw it as a preview of what may be another upcoming story. As Bloomberg's Jennifer Epstein, who said, if the statement is preemptive, oh boy, it is a story is going to be explosive. That was a gigantic story, wasn't it? Next, look at what President Trump just tweeted about the Russian investigation. Deputy A.G. Rosenstein, who was one who recommended firing of Comey. Right, check this out. And it's important. Remember, Rosenstein, Attorney General Rosenstein, was the one who recommended the firing of James Comey. You understand that, right? I did that story way back. He recommended it, along with Attorney General, the real attorney, that this Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein and Attorney General Jeff Sessions both recommended that FBI director be fired. But for this story, it's important we focus on Deputy A.G. Rosenstein. He was the one who recommended that Trump fire Comey. So read this. I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director? Witch hunt? I mean, wow. It doesn't get more hypocritical than this. It just doesn't. It just doesn't. Again, I want to read that again. I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the man who told me to fire the FBI director. That's because this is nuts. We're in Twilight Zone. President Trump's latest Twitter target seems to be his own Deputy Attorney General Ron Rosenstein, who he blasts for the hiring of a special counsel to investigate the firing of the FBI director. He blasts for hiring of a special counsel to investigate the firing of the former FBI director James Comey, after writing a letter himself explicitly calling for the fire of James Comey. Really makes no sense. I am being investigated for firing the FBI director by the same man who told me to fire him. Witch hunt. Of course, Trump's message isn't crystal clear on exactly who the subject of the tweet is, and left some wondering whether it might actually be referring to Special Counsel Mueller. Well, that's who I'm thinking. Well, no, because it's just been reached. The fact is, Rosenstein did, in fact, draft a letter calling for the termination of James Comey. Right, and I knew that, so I knew that. A letter which Trump revealed publicly on May 9th. It would be more logical that the tweet is directed at him. Here is an excerpt from the Post back in May. This is what they wrote. In a letter from Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, he cites the handling of Comey's Clinton investigation and says that Comey was wrong to cite his conclusions about the Clinton email probe in July of 2016. I cannot defend the director's handling of the conclusion of the investigation of Secretary Clinton's emails, and I do not understand his refusal to accept the nearly universal judgment that he was mistaken, Rosenstein wrote. There's more to that, too, that they're not showing in this article for some reason. Maybe they didn't know. Anyway, final story. CNN exposed peddling blatant partisan lie. Before yesterday's congressional baseball game, members of both parties gathered in prayer for Representative Steve Scalise, as well as all of those injured in yesterday's attack. However, CNN falsely stated that the only Democratic members of congressional wow, really? CNN falsely stated that only Democratic members of congressional Congress participated in the prayer. Both congressional baseball teams observed a moment of silence at second base. And here's the proof that CNN's liars.
USA. You can hear everyone chanting USA. It's very moving here tonight, I have to say. I mean,
and they're coming together for
and now
prayer.
Everyone is kneeling down to pray. Let's take a moment here.
Yeah.
Watch both congressional baseball teams observe moment of silence at second base. Both. Okay, CNN? Stop already. Thanks for watching, folks. We have a new feature if you're watching live. We have Super Chat, which allows you to post your comments to the top. And the more you pay, or the more you donate, or the more money you super chat, the longer your question stays on top of the chat box, and you're able to get your thing out. And also, while we're live, I'll read them out as I see them. Yeah, I miss a few, or maybe I'm new at this. I'm just getting this going now, but I'll send you out a shout out, your channel, and read your comment. And then what I love about the live show is that people from the left and the right, they come and they just, they debate, and it's awesome. I did a couple shows so far, and it's really been wonderful. The debate, we've got hours and hours, it just goes on. So, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time. Don't forget to share, subscribe, and smash that like button. And remember, a woman shouldn't be punished because she wants an abortion. Only her baby should. Chop. This piece of dirt she is. I'd like to just... I mean, isn't that one of the most horrible comics that I've ever shown? Straight to the point. Right? This is how she feels. This is what she says when she says, a woman should have a right to have an abortion, a late-term abortion. See, I don't have a problem with abortions when they're, a couple weeks old, first trimester, the whole before the heartbeat and the pain thing, before a baby feels pain and heartbeat. But after that, once it starts becoming a baby, and she was talking about how in the 8th month that it's okay. It's not okay. I'll never say that's okay. I will fight that. I will fight that. You get pregnant a day, a week, or 2 later, 3 weeks, whatever, you get an abortion, all right, fine. Probably better for that baby that you got an abortion. But not when it's late term. Anyway, I know I'm ranting, but she triggered me again when I seen this. See you next time. That's right, folks. If you like that video, then you will love the one we have coming up. And It's right there where those arrows are pointing. Click on it. I'll see you in a moment. Thanks for watching Not Fake News.